Hey YouTube, this is Dean making another vid. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like button. Also, please consider subscribing, as it is very much appreciated. Okay, said I'd do it, and here they are. This is my cobbler hammers and farrier hammers, and I've included my set tool. So this is a set tool, completely different to a hammer. Set tools are soft and designed to set things or be struck with a hammer, and basically you place it down on an item and strike it with a hammer. Why people say you do not strike hammer on hammer is because these are hardened tools, but they are tempered. So they are not necessarily hard tools, but they are hardened to a point where they will not deform easily, but they are hard enough to do work without deforming too much. So a set tool is soft, and it's hard to wrap your mind around it, that when you're talking about steel being soft. But when you start looking at in forging, you get to really know what I mean by that. Because if I struck those two hammers together face on face with a serious blow, there is a good chance of chipping hammers out. You might not do it on the first blow, but you do it enough regularly. But cobblers' hammers tend to be a bit softer. I get two engineering hammers together, and they tend to be a bit harder, and you will end up chipping them out, and they do tend to advocate not doing that. So yeah. Anyway, my set tool, yeah, really handy piece of gear. It's good for tight little bits where you can get in, put it there, and it's basically a flattener. So that little flat piece there can flatten some work. So if you want to get in tight, get it in there and just flatten a little bit out, and that's exactly what it's doing. That rounding edge, again, get it in there and just round there, hit it, set it, away you go. So that's exactly what that is for. I've got a little scale here, and it is 436 grams including the handle, 437 grams including the handle. So yeah, nice little weight, nice little set tool. Okay, start from the lightest. This one here. This is a nice little cobbler's hammer. You can tell most cobblers tend to have shorter handles. I don't see a lot of them with long handles. They tend to use them in workshops, so confined spaces a little bit more. They tend to have shorter handles. They're not doing a lot of heavy work with it. And yeah, so they don't have a lot longer handles. I don't use these for their intended purpose, cobblers. I don't do a cobbling work at all. So yeah, I much prefer them. I don't know why their patterns just seem to transfer over into forging so well. Yeah, these are just not for bashing shoes around. Cobbler work and leather work. Yeah, and the farrier hammer, again, farrier work translates very easily over into blacksmithing, because you're doing a lot of the same sort of work, working with horseshoes. Although it used to be one and the same, but now it's not. But yeah, a lot of blacksmiths would never have shoot a horse in their life. So yeah, but blacksmithing is a dying art too. But anyway, I won't go on about that. Yeah, this is a beautiful little one, unbranded as far as I know. I can't see any branding marks on it, so I don't know what it is. Not my preferred pattern. Yeah, I don't like the peen on this way. I prefer double-headed ones, and I'll show you my Greg steel. I prefer that pattern itself. So This is the lightest one I've got. It is 388 grams, and including handle. And yeah, it's a nice little hammer. It doesn't get much work with me. The head's face is a little bit small, but I'm glad I've got it. And yeah, it's a beautiful little hammer, just for light work. Intermediate, my Greg Steel, preferred pattern. Love this hammer. Haven't used it at all since I faced it. I've only just bought it, and this is the one I really like. Greg Steel says there, is an Australian brand. The faces are this. They seem to run the Greg Steels in that straight plane, and this is the pattern I really like. I love the fact that the cobblers hammers have this big open, big round face. They seem to always like having a little bit of a rounding face on it. Big face, smaller face. Everything about this is just really good, lovely hammer. Again, only a short handle, but that just seems to be, as I said, typical pattern for these. This one is 575 grams, including the handle. About perfect weight for these sort of hammers as far as I'm concerned. That's about intermediate weight, and yeah, just a lovely vintage hammer, and I'm glad I've got it. Don't see a lot in this range, weight range, and this pattern, so I jumped on it when I saw it. Didn't pay a lot of money for it and got it at a bit of a discount, so very happy. I think I paid about, from memory, and I only just bought it, it was about $60. So I don't mind paying $60 for a vintage hammer, I can tell you that right now. This is my other one. I'm trying to read it there. Glenfield, I think it is. Yeah, Glenfield, I think. Don't quote me. I've got my reading glasses on. Onfield. I can't remember what the names of them are. It's a number 2 pattern. They've got this weird bent pattern. Not my preferred pattern. I do like them. They are very, very handy hammers. Really big face, again, rounded. I just don't, it's a bit strange. I don't know why they have that bend in them. Again, short handles. Every one of them I've got had nice handles on, so I'm not going to rehang them. Weight is 727 grams with the handles. So yeah, until the handles bugger up on them, I'm not going to rehang them. So yeah, I'm just going to work with them the way they are. This one, Andrew's got a very large range of cobblers hammers. I think he's got the full range, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The numbers relate to the weights. I can't remember now, and I picked a couple up and used a few of them, and I just fell in love with them. They are such good for forging. They are beautiful hammers to use, and yeah, they work really well, and that's what got me into them. So yeah, and that's why I wanted to get a few of them, and yeah, I fell in love with them. This one will quickly become my favourite, I think, although I do really like this one as well. Those two, I just wish I could get a 700 grammer in the straight head, with the straight head pattern. It just, yeah, they're as rare as hen's teeth, these ones with the straight head. They very rarely come up, so yeah, that's just it. And you see a lot of these ones, but I don't like with the cross peen. I just don't use it as often. So yeah, although I don't use that peen, that smaller peen that often either. So yeah, it really doesn't make much. But if you notice the heads, see how the head orientation changes slightly. So yeah, it is a little bit different. So yeah, I prefer the straight orientation. It's just yeah, I don't know why they put a bend in them. Yeah, it's cobbler's work, I suppose. I'm working on when they work on a different. It's a very strange anvils when they're working on the shoe horns, and yeah, so yeah, I suppose that's why they do it. So yeah, anyway, that's the three of them I've got. Very, very happy with them. These are not just for bashing shoes around and making leather work, and that they work very well for forging. And yeah, if you're getting into forging and want to pick up a vintage hammer and you see a cobbler's hammer, especially if you see one of them, yeah, take my advice. Jump on one. Pay $50-$60 for one. You'll never regret it, I don't think. Yeah, especially if you see it in good nick, you know. Yeah, they will serve you well. Comes to my farriers hammer. She's a beast. I love her. This is I picked it up as soon as I got it, and I picked it up. It's got a short little stubby little hammer handle on it, a little handle. If it wasn't in such good nick, I'd put a different handle on. I want a longer handle. I always wanted one about that long and a proper shape on it. But yeah, this one's strange because it's got two rounded faces. Normally they have a single round face and then a flat face on it. Perfect weight. 1,111 grams. It's right in my wheelhouse. 1,100 grams. It's, you know, that to me is the perfect weight for me for a forging hammer. And this is a beautiful hammer for me, a farriers hammer. Yeah, I'm so glad I got this one. I just like the ability. Doesn't matter which face you pick up on. She just does work with either face, and yeah, I'm not going to change it. Like when I first got it, I thought, oh, I might straight flatten one face because that's the normal pattern. They normally have one flat face and one rounded face. But as soon as I started working with it, I thought, no, I'm going to keep it like that. They did it for a reason, and it's just so you can do work with either face, and it's just a fantastic hammer, fantastic working hammer. I'm in awe of it. Between that one and my engineering ball hammer, which ball peen, they're exactly the same weight. They're 1.1 kilo. And this one, the only thing is, as I said, is if it had a proper length handle on it, and when this handle starts to wear out, I'll rehang it and I'll put a proper handle on it. I do like the older pattern handles. I've got a Stanley, and it's got a beautiful thin at the neck here, thinned out, and yeah, just a really elegant thinned out, and and that's what I'll put on this one. It just thinned out at the neck, and just an elegant long handle on it. It'll be about that long, I'd say. Yeah, about that long, and it'll be it. But anyway, I wanted to just showcase. I said I would when I faced that up, and which I did. I faced that up the other day on the 72 on the slack belt. Got it really nice, rounded off, nice. So yeah, can't wait to give it some work, and yeah, see how she goes. It'll perform admirably. But they're my 3 cobblers hammers and 1 farriers hammer of an unusual pattern. So yeah, really happy about the Greg steel, because you don't see them very often here in Australia, Australian hammer, and that really tickles my fancy. Using Australian hammer. So yeah, and I'm sure this one's going to become my favourite of the three, because yeah, it's that weight, that, because I do like a lighter hammer. Yeah, I don't need to swing a heavy hammer. I just don't need to do that. Yeah, I like lighter hammers. I always have. Anyway, that's my cobblers and farrier hammer and a set tool that I made out of it was a crossbeam. So yeah, this one, yeah, worked out really well. I'm going to make Andrew one too. So yeah, he's got a piece of 4440, slightly bigger. So yeah, because he's got a set tool that's slightly smaller than this. I'm going to make a slightly bigger set tool for him for that. So he'll have the two set tools, and then he's got his couple of flatters. So yeah, it'll be good. So yeah, round the tools out. Anyway, thanks for watching.